the old school tacos, you probably shouldn't. Opposed to the zero, how much could you eat of the other? Like, do you think you could eat more zeros, or do you think you could eat more of the old school throwback joints?
Oh, I'm probably going neck and neck with those.
Mission zero, it is. That's what I'm seeing in the
All
chat.
right.
Zero.
Okay. Well, this is where, I'm going to divide everybody on. Do I go extra picante with Mexican hot sauce that my cousins got me when they were in Mexico? Or do I go salsa verde, extra hot picante? They're both habanero hot sauces.
Man, I'm telling you right now. Jay says Verde. Hey Weens, how you doing? Maggie Verde. And Barry Verde. Talk Barry to me says Verde.
You know what? I'm putting both on. How's that?
Wow, everybody's saying Verde. I mean, I couldn't imagine you know, in my RNY
Well, I find this one to be
at
the
all.
extra picante is the hotter one, so I'm gonna go with both. I'll put
Yeah,
both on.
that looks like an extra dumping syndrome to me.
No, I'm telling you, you guys don't realize that habanero peppers. I love habanero peppers. I can still eat habanero peppers.
Yeah, hey Jay, man, don't bite the burger yet, man. Hold on a second
Dude,
because
he's got White Castle. You can't resist.
nah, I've been sitting on Chipotle over here in my
Dude,
lap
have you
studying.
seen Harold and Kumar go to White Castle? Dude, I haven't had White Castle in like 25 years. I would like not have self control and I would pretty much hurt myself
But White
if I
Castle
went.
isn't White Castle is nowhere near as good as it used to be back in the day. It's completely
Oh,
different now.
probably not.
It's still White Castle, yeah. They still got the
White Castle by name?
yeah, well, I mean, I'm sure they still have the same onions and cheese, but if it is it I don't know. We'll have to ask Jay because he'll tell us the truth, you know?
Yeah, I know.
We'll see.
Um, all
Kev,
right. So what did we just cover?
White
I think
loss
we got.
Claudio, weight loss. I call weight loss Claudio weight loss Claudio. Man, I
Oh
don't lost my
boy,
mind. Weight loss Claudio. What's happening, man?
what's happening, brother? Welcome
You know,
in.
I can't even help myself.
All
I'm out
right.
of control
Well,
up here.
since we got people coming in, let's. How about everyone
That's right.
start tapping that
We were
screen?
talking
Share the
about
live with at least 5 people.
White Castle and I got all twisted. Damn. Close Berry Fit. What's up, man?
What's up, brother? How you doing?
I'm sorry, I took a bite. Let's bring Jay. Jay, you
Yeah,
ready?
bring Jay up.
I started eating. I don't even know what we're talking about tonight. But yeah, if you all could tap the screen, respect the people on the panel and in the comments, please. If you do not, we will kick you out of here. This is a positive space. We love one another. We don't have nothing but peace, love, and soul going up in this joint. Tap on the screen, give us likes, hit the follow. At least share five of your friends. Give us a thumbs up when you get that done. And if you would like to subscribe, don't hesitate. We got a 5 subscription goal that we're trying to reach tonight. And don't forget to tune in on Sunday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific to watch Talk Barry to Me with our sister chat live. VSG Bestie.
My wife made me wear a button down because you guys always wear ties and whatnot.
Man, look
I'm
at
gonna
you.
say you looking sharp, man.
Wow. Hold on a second. You don't even have a tie on, do
Nah,
you?
yeah, don't do that. I'm tired.
For what? What? Not that you don't even need one, man. Dag.
Oh, hold on. I got the pun.
Tony, you press that button one more time,
You
man.
just
Dude,
get
I'm
me. No, I
sorry.
love that. I did that. I used to do that when I was teaching.
Well, how you doing, man? Good to have you.
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm happy
Yeah.
to be here. Long time listener.
Hey,
First time caller.
That's right. That's right. I appreciate it, man. Hey, did you
Yeah,
take a
thanks.
bite out of one of those burgers yet, Jay?
No, I did it. Look. Evidence. Look.
I can't
All right.
believe you
Can
haven't.
you tell us if the quality of White Castle is still the same or has it changed?
I mean, I don't know. He said like he was talking about like 10, 15, 20 years ago. Let me see. I got you right now.
Like 20, 25 years ago.
So,
I personally I like the frozen ones better. The ones from the supermarket.
oh my God.
I like them better. I don't know why.
Yeah.
The company I used to work for threw a big giant party and they had White Castle come up to Massachusetts and cater it.
Oh my gosh.
That's good times, bro.
It is.
That's good times.
Yeah.
Listen. I'm aware White Castle, isn't the best, but I work right next to a White Castle. I'm like, I'm gonna get White Castle tonight. I was trying to figure out what I was gonna order for dinner today, because I was gonna do like Uber Eats, whatever. But I got stuck into choice paralysis, and I was like, I'm just gonna get White Castle. That's it.
That would be awesome if you had the Uber Eats guy show up on camera.
Yeah.
All
I'm
Hey,
right, so
glad you. I'm
extra
glad you went with
picante
the
and
verde.
verde.
you know
I'm
what?
happy.
You're going with
I went
Vera?
with both. I went with both. I already put the other one on.
Nice.
I'm happy you went with the verde.
Hey, so uh I just would like everyone to know that Jay had his, if you don't already know, Jay had the VSG on my birthday, that is.
Okay,
That
Juneteenth
but
birthday. I see you.
Right. That's right. That's right.
That's my nephew's birthday, actually. I missed his birthday because of surgery.
Have you had any complications since you've had surgery?
Fortunately, zero complications right now.
nice.
I'm fortunate to say, but I'm not, I'm not naive enough to not think that they could possibly come later, like gallbladder stuff like that. So
Yep.
Do you ever like look up and try to like look at things and try to figure out how to avoid losing your gallbladder and stuff? Like, because you see so
I
many people deal with it.
I did one time, and then I looked up on Chat GPT, and I remember what I saw. I'm like, okay, I already kind of eat all this stuff, and I didn't want to go too much outside of my norm. So I'm like, for now, let me just eat what I already eat. Call it a day.
We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Hopefully, we don't get there, but yeah, we'll cross that bridge.
Yep.
Yeah, I
I
looked
know.
it up a lot too, and I thought the same thing, man. I'm eating a lot of what was on the list, and I'm not gonna quote the list because I don't remember it clearly. I do know cheese was there, and I ain't stopping cheese. So hey,
Love
Yeah,
cheese.
I haven't stopped cheese. I like cheese too. But like
Love
my
cheese.
wife had her gallbladder out, so like the diet's already changed within the house already. So
Word.
I try not to look at that whole point.
Yeah, I kind of went into this not before this. I was in therapy before I even considered surgery because I just thought I needed to go to therapy. I have I have a lot of anxiety. I have ADHD. I have a lot of anxiety, and I have a lot of cognitive distortions. Essentially, but there's a whole bunch of list of different cognitive distortions. But one of the things that I consistently do is I think the most negative a worst case scenario for everything. And it's not like I think it just comes, right? The worst case scenario for everything just happens in my brain, and I have to actively try to fight it. So when I went into this surgery in my mind, I essentially prepared myself for all the things. Um, and not prepare myself like I'm ready. Just like if I'm going to do this surgery, I have to be ready to have any and all complications happen, and I have to ask myself, will I be? How am I going to say this was a good decision if I have to deal with this complication, this complication, this complication? And ultimately, I said yes. I said the benefits can outweigh the risks.
right.
So the question I have for you is how do you with your past weight loss journeys, because a lot of us have had them, and I know you say that you are already seeking out counseling and stuff from your therapist. How do you how does your past weight loss like failures like influence your decisions now in your current weight loss journey?
Yeah, I've done not at all, but I've done a lot of the things, right? I when I was 20 years old, I think that was my first experience losing a lot of weight, 95-ish, 90 to 100 pounds. when I was 20 years old. That summer, it was, people gained the freshman 15 in college. I gained the freshman like 100, right? Um, and I remember that summer, I would walk like 3.5 miles to the gym, work out on a treadmill or elliptical for like an hour, 2 hours, then work out on lifting weights, and then walk 3.5 miles back. And I did that every day for a summer, and I lost like 70 something pounds. Then I lost the rest of it in school. But for that year, I was so scared to regain the weight that I was working out. I was doing P90X or Insanity, if you guys know those things.
Oh yeah.
Workout video. So I picked one every day, every morning, or every day I did P90X or Insanity. And then at some point of the day, I went to the gym for like an hour, and then I would go on the treadmill for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. Sometimes I would even go in the pool. So I was working out on a hard workout day. I was probably working out like 5 hours. On a regular workout day, I was probably working out 3 hours, and I did that for like the better part of a year. I would have considered it healthy. I thought I was healthy. Obviously, I was overtraining. I was under eating, and it got to a point where I remember I tore my hamstring running on the treadmill. Of course, I did, because I was working out way too much, and I wasn't eating enough to supplement my workouts, and I wasn't resting enough to supplement my workouts. So yeah, that was my first stint in huge weight loss, and I definitely lost more weight, 50 to 75 to 100 pounds, at least 4, 5, 6 different times in my life. And it's been with exercise. It's been with intermittent fasting. It's been with extended fasting. It's been with keto. I've done it with Atkins. I've done it. I've even successfully depends on if you call it success. I've even successfully lost like 70 pounds with high carb, low fat, and I'm talking about ginormous portions, of food with very very little fat, high medium protein, high carbs. I followed this dude on Instagram, and again, the weight came off, but like, if I think about the terrible things I was doing to my body, and to my, and creating this insulin resistance and messing up my metabolism. And like I said, with fasting, January last year, I remember fasting for like 96 hours, and I would have called it a success. And I was celebrating how good it was to not eat for almost 4 days, and calling myself healthy. Right. And you couldn't tell me a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, you couldn't tell me none of that was unhealthy. I would have been like, yeah, I did it before. I can do it again. Yeah. I just have to do keto. Yeah. I have to do this. I have to do that.
Yeah.
So now since of all those journeys, and not to mention, trigger warning, making myself throw up for a better part of my adult life. Everything that I do now is trying to enjoy food and listen to my body, and not deny myself, because I have a history of denying myself food for so long that I binge it afterwards. So yeah, sorry
Yeah,
if I'm
like
long-winded.
a lot of those fads they're just not sustainable, and
Right.
they set us up to fail more than they set us up to succeed, because it's only a short-term success. Because then
Right.
we always resort back to old habits.
Now, is it safe to say, look, hey, first of all, none of us are physicians, none of us are pediatricians, or not, we know we're not pediatricians, but we're not physicians, we're not nutritionists, and we're not mental health specialists or professionals. We're just some guys who are experiencing a journey of weight loss, who've gotten surgery, and we're sharing. That's it. So, disclaimer. Second thing I want to say is, with intuitive eating, don't take it like, you know, we don't, people aren't aware of the fact that people have eating disorders where they have trigger foods, or if they eat a certain way, that they'll go right back to where they started. Intuitive eating isn't for everybody. Would you say that?
Yeah,
Let
absolutely.
I think it would be safe to say that, just because, intuitive eating isn't expected for everyone to do, just those people who can do it,
And you
right?
have and you have to intuitive eating. I think you would do it a disservice to try to explain what it is in like a 10 and 30 second response. But also, I'm still learning about it, and learning about intuitive eating, and learning about finding food freedom. It's funny because I started reading the book. I'm on like chapter 10 now, and I just keep getting these oh yes moments, or like these moments where I'm like, I've been saying this. Like if you come, a lot of people come into my lives, and I've been saying a lot of the things that it says to do, like enjoy your food, savoring your food, not denying yourself. It's about trust. And if I would have read this book 2 years ago, I would have laughed at it. 2 years ago, I would have said this book is just an excuse to, have bad habits, and just forget about everything else. Like I would have not listened to this book. I was not ready. So, one, unless you're ready to start trying to eat intuitively, it's not going to work for you. And two, this is why it doesn't really work in the weight loss surgery space. One of the tenets of intuitive eating is, if you are on a weight loss journey, you're not eating intuitively. Because if eating intuitively is to listen to your body, trust your judgment, not restrict anything, it is not a diet, right? And the second you're saying, I want to eat intuitively, but I'm trying to lose weight, you're going to either consciously or subconsciously make decisions that are going to, it's going to be to lose weight. I'm not, no diet culture, no diet culture. I'm eating intuitively, but let me get this low calorie this, right? That's not eating intuitively, right? And you could argue with yourself and say, you know what, I really like this. That's why I like it. Sure. But again, it's going against what the book is saying. So I'm very well aware that not everybody is in the same headspace, because some people want to lose as much weight as possible. I have no intention, no desire to lose as much weight as possible, as fast as possible. I've done that all my life. I'm not doing that again.
You're going to lose what you're going to lose, but you're going to live your life and be healthy and take care of your body. It doesn't mean that you're not going to take care of your body. You exercise every time I see you live. So that's not the case. It's just all about being comfortable in your skin is how I get it. And I guess there's not a right or a wrong, but also I also kind of think, like when I first got the surgery and I had those restrictions, I mean, essentially, I was eating intuitively because I couldn't eat but what I could eat, and I think as the restriction gets looser and looser, and your ability to expand your eating and eat more, I think in the back of your mind, you should remember, if anything, try to remember the restriction. And I mean, you can eat what you want to eat, but I mean, that's also what you can eat. And that's just how I process those thoughts. I don't know if it's right or wrong. I'm just telling y'all that's how I'm
Yeah.
thinking. So
I think
So
I think it's about also trust. Like, how often have you said, I said, or people have said, oh, I can't be around this. I can't be around this. Don't put that in front of me. Oh, I can't have that in the house, right? That's just, you can't trust yourself. And I get it, because we have a history, right? I have a history with this food, and every time you make that choice, it was a vote. It was a vote for saying you can't trust yourself, right? And if you look at the ballot, it's 50,000 times versus three. Yeah, you know what? History has shown me I can't trust myself. However, almost always, right? We didn't trust ourselves because we were depriving ourselves. We were in famine. We were doing this diet. We were eating healthy. And then when we actually accessed that food, we binged it and we ate it like it was the last time we were ever gonna eat that food. I bet you we even told ourselves, I'm not gonna eat this again. I'm not gonna eat this again. I'm gonna be good tomorrow. I'm gonna be good forever. And you ate it, and you ate probably more than you normally would, because you told yourself, I'm gonna be good tomorrow. Because you told yourself, I'm gonna be good next week. Because you knew a diet was coming, right? Versus, I'm gonna have a little bit, I'm gonna have half a Snickers because I want half a Snickers, right? Instead, it becomes, I'm eating good, I'm eating clean, I'm eating good, I'm eating clean. Let me have 4 Snickers, right?
mm,
Because again, when is the next time I'm gonna eat Snickers? I don't know. So I'm gonna have 4 in this sitting, right? And I
right.
think that we don't trust ourselves. And that's the problem. So intuitive eating is tries to get you to trust yourself and to really believe that this is not the last time you're going to have that food. And because it's not the last time you're going to have that food, you're not going to have that last supper mentality. Does that
Right.
make sense?
Right.
yeah. So how do you feel that like you? I know
It's
that,
called,
that
I'm
all
sorry, it's
part of
called
this is
the book is called Intuitive Eating. But again, if you are trying to lose weight, the book essentially says, hey, this might not be for you right now. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
Really?
Because
Damn.
so I was
what people do is try to turn it into a diet, and we're trying to escape diet, and we're trying to intuitive eating is trying to leave diet culture. So people are like, okay, I could take this and take this and take this and make these rules. But intuitive eating is like, yo, we're trying to leave the rules and not be so rigid and be flexible. And people were like, no, 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 no.
You
What if
want a sustainable lifestyle.
right? So again, it's not for everybody. I understand that. And I'm sure you can successfulully take some of the ideas and make your own little diet. But again, the goal is to leave it. So if you're not ready for it, it's okay. If that's not your journey, that's okay too. And I told the guys when we had a conversation, I'm very aware that it's a weird thing for me to be in the bariatric space talking about not losing as much weight as possible. So I know it's different, and I'm not for everybody, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, everything ain't for everybody.
Yeah.
And so I know that we had touched on when we had spoken previously about like your journey with trying to heal your relationship with food, and talking to your therapist. How do you feel seeing your therapist has influenced your relationship with food going forward?
Yeah, I love my therapist, and I know I'm not ready to graduate because I said if she leaves me, I'm gonna cry, and I'm gonna throw a fit, and I'm never gonna go to another therapist again. So I'm not ready to leave her yet. So I know that I'm well aware. But she really she listens and she doesn't let me because I have ADHD and sometimes I skirt around a conversation. So she'll be like, hey, you said this. I want to talk about that, or I think I skirt a conversation, and then the next week she's like, "Hey, last week you said this. We're gonna start. We're gonna start by talking about this." And why I love her too also is because she thinks long term. She knows what I need, and she's she is very flexible, right? Like when she helped me with when she helped me stop weighing myself, um, the biggest thing that really helped me out was she said we're gonna weigh ourselves once a week. And then she said, but if you feel like weighing yourself at any point, you can. That means 5, 10 times a day. That means at 3 p.m., 10 a.m., 6 a.m., anytime you want, do it. But we're going to go for once a week, right? And it no longer felt like, oh my God, I'm a failure if I don't. It was like, hey, we're going to try. And you might have a bad week. You might have a good week. And either way, it's you growing and you learning, right? And we can celebrate, hey, you stepped on the scale 6 times this week, but you used to step on the scale 30 times, and recognize it might be okay that maybe this is 6, last week was 30, and next week might be 15. And that's okay because that's part of the growth, right? Just like we say weight loss is not linear, things like that are not linear. And she helped
Yeah,
me,
you
and
celebrate
with that,
small
I
victories.
used it. Small victories. And I took that and ran with it, and then I applied it to like anything and everything, honestly.
Can you describe like you being into an intuitive eater, right? And we can move on from it in a second, but I want to know like if there's what role does mindful eating play in your approach to intuitive eating?
Yeah, I want to be clear. I am not an intuitive eater. I am learning how to
Okay.
eat intuitively.
Okay.
However, while I'm reading the book, like it just feels like this is how I described it once I was on live. It felt like I was in a parking lot, right? Lost, and I Google Maps intuitive eating, and I found out I was the building is right there, and I was in the parking lot, and I'm like, yo, is this intuitive eating? Like, yeah, and that's like, oh, I see you, that's you, yeah, and I'm waving, so I'm in the vicinity, and I'm like, I didn't know I was there, like, come in, and I'm so close to it, like I feel it, and it was validating, right? It was very validating, and it just made me it just made me feel even more open to listen to the book. And I did have my questions because I'm like, this book was not written for somebody who had weight loss surgery. Clearly, it says it in the beginning. But I like the book because it says, one, we recognize that intuitive eating is a privilege, right? If you have food insecurity, any way, shape, or form, if you don't know when your next meal is coming, or you don't know if you could afford your next meal, we be aware that intuitive eating is a privilege. And I also love the book because it also said we recognize also you may be on a weight loss journey, and you may want to escape diet culture, and you may want to lose weight because of what diet culture has done, and we recognize that they speak for people who are trying to lose weight as well, with the disclaimer, hey, if you're also on the weight loss journey, even though we recognize you're on that journey, this still might not be for you, but still invites you in. So again, I'm trying to learn this. I still don't even know if it's for me. But it just feels validating that I am on what I believe is the right path with my relationship with food. Food has had so much control over me my entire life. I've hid food. I've eaten secretly, away from my family. I've thrown food out in the garbage and then hid other food on top of it or other things on top of it. I've binge ate, thrown up, and then binge ate again. I, this food has controlled me for so long, and I don't feel that at all. And I am aware that I haven't healed my relationship with food. I will never say I healed with my relationship with food. It's a ongoing journey. And I'm just excited to keep going, and just remind food that it's just food. It's not going to tell me what to do. It's not going to tell me what I can and can't do. It's not going to speak to me. I'm just going to enjoy it, and that's all. So that way, every meal I eat is going to be something that I'm enjoying, not something that I'm fearing, not something that I'm worrying about.
Yeah, it makes me laugh. It's like, and I hate to be like that, but I remember food used to talk to me.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I'm trying to tell you, man, like straight up.
The scale used to talk to me, and now I don't even put the scale away. It's still there, and it's been like 54 days, and I have zero idea how much I weigh. And that's my personal journey too.
Right. Yeah, I don't mess with the scale. I probably see the scale like every once every 3 weeks at the
I love
most.
that. I love that. I what? That's so, and you're so nonchalant about it. I'm like, that's crazy because it took me. I had to work to not weigh
I'm
myself.
working on it now, and I don't
Yeah.
even want to work on it.
Yo, the scale, man. I think I probably stepped on the scale. I probably stepped on the scale over 5,000 times in my life.
I think since I've gotten to my 1 year mark, I've spent less time worrying about where I am. I
Mm,
think that a lot of it had to do. I'm like, you know what? I'm really happy with where I'm at. I want to I told everyone I want to hit that goal, another 25 pounds. 200 pounds down was my goal.
of course, I get it.
I, you know what? I could step on the scale, a month from now, and I could be 10 pounds away from it. I don't know, but
Wow.
again, I'm not worried about it. I'm like, I feel better about where I'm at from last year. I think I
Yeah,
was really happy about where I was
I,
when I
I,
hit
I
my.
see people I see people on my live all the time, and they're like, "Oh, I'm almost in Wonderland," and I'm like, "How much you weigh?" They're like, 230. I'm like, "Okay, would you consider yourself a failure if you got to only 205? No, 207? No, 212? No, 220? No. So why is 199 your goal? Like,
Right.
what reason other than I want to see 199? And the reason I say that is because if you make that your goal, one, you're gonna make decisions that are possibly unsustainable and cause more harm than good. And then two, if you're only searching for that number, what happens when you get there? I did it.
I think a lot of
Now
it
let
has
me
to.
maintain it. Like,
I think a lot of it has to do is that I was so focused that whole first year on like just the whole journey and eating right and everything that again I've talked about this here and there that I stopped concentrating on certain things. A lot of it had to do with my mental health.
mm,
Um, I'm still dealing with body image issues and like I need to work on things that I need to work on first before I can become comfortable with everything else I want to do. If I want to hit other goals, I need to really fix goals that I haven't concentrated on. And I think that's important for me to, for the next year to really concentrate on that. So, and
yeah, I love that.
that's changed from January to when I hit my 1 year. I was like, I started to realize certain things and I'm just like, I'm not concentrating on this. I've ignored seeing my nutritionist. I've ignored
Yeah,
seeing my therapist. And so I just saw my nutritionist last month. I'm seeing my therapist next month. So like I'm starting to take those steps to try to like really improve my relationship with food and just get right inside here.
I love that.
You know, I got this sense that And Jay, correct me if I'm wrong,
Yeah, bro.
but I get this sense that you don't really set goals for yourself. You just made the changes you felt you need to make in your life to make, your health um obtainable,
Yep.
reachable.
Personally, again, I did the goals. You know, I did the weigh this much by January 1st. Be able to fit into this outfit by my birthday, and it never served me right. And like I keep saying, like it only made me feel like I had to do something more. It never made me feel good. Um, very early on, I told myself, I'm talking about like week 2. I told myself I don't want to start anything that I don't think I would want to keep doing 5 months down the road. All about sustainable habits, right? And thank the books on habits, but all about sustainable habits. I didn't want to do anything out the norm because again, I've done the out the norm. I have to run 4 miles on the four. I mean, I have to run 4 hours on the treadmill or walk 4 hours on the treadmill today. I have to do this many times at the gym. I have to go to the. One time I went to the gym 47 days in a row and I thought I was being healthy. I would have told you I was being healthy. I'm on a streak. No, bro, you're sick and scared of gaining weight, right?
Yeah,
But I would have told you I was healthy as hell.
right.
See, weight loss, Claudio. Everyone's journey is different. Go at your own pace,
That's right.
and that
So yeah,
that's
so
what
I,
it
I
is.
don't have a goal weight. My doctor might have a goal weight, but I don't. Like one time I told somebody like if my doctor's goal weight is 255, and I said if I was at 262, I wouldn't be like, oh, 7 pounds, 7 pounds. And then he was like, oh, you're just lazy, you don't want to work hard. I'm like, what does that say to be 7 pounds away from your doctor's goal weight, not your weight, your goal weight, your doctor's goal weight, and instead of celebrating, let's do some math, yeah, 30. Instead of celebrating 170 something pounds of weight loss, you want me to be obsessed over 7 extra pounds. What does that say? They're like, oh, I shouldn't be satisfied because 170 pounds something, but my doctor said 7 more. I got to do that 7 more. That says a lot, right? And that says
Yeah.
we're in the wrong headspace. And just to be clear, I didn't just tell you my weight. I didn't tell you that my weight. That was just me saying numbers. Don't be out here thinking I'm out here saying, I don't do that. I don't do that.
Everyone's telling themselves, "We got him. We got him."
No, you did not. You did not get me.
Nah, I knew that was non-negotiable to
Yeah.
get with.
Yes. So,
And I wouldn't
while
even
we're
want
at
to
it,
do that
Rab, I
guy.
just want to stop you right there, Rab. I'll
I'm
let you guys chew your food and eat, and so we're not rushing through it, but we just want to take a minute. Let's do a water check for us that aren't eating because we're all going to wait a half hour.
I'm, I'm not gonna lie. I thought you were like, we interrupt this program. We're sponsored by. I'm like, okay, guys, you better get your money.
We're interrupting this regular
Sponsored by
program to let you
Sargento Cheese.
know that it is. We are happy to have you here joining us. Please tap the like and share the live. We appreciate all the follows. Don't hesitate to help us reach a subscription goal here for 3 current subscriptions. We can make it to 5. That would be absolutely wonderful. Also, Tony and I will be joining a exclusive subscription based live with the takeaways of this show that we have had this conversation with Jay with. So if there's any comments or questions or anything that you didn't get out, you can get out there live on panel with me and Tony hanging out, chilling, and kicking the Willy Bobo. Don't forget on Sunday nights to join VSG Bestie on Talk Bari to me at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 7 o'clock Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific. Our sister chat Talk Bari to me with VSG Bestie.
He's
Now
really
back
good at
to the
Man,
that.
show.
He's really
yeah,
good
but
at that.
hey, well, all right, wait a minute. Don't forget our other friends.
Our
We have
Bari
Kate.
sisters come on at what time?
Wednesday, 8:30 Central. I mean Eastern time. Eastern
Eastern.
Standard Time.
All right. And then we have Bari Unfiltered at on Mondays,
Monday, 8 p.m.
8 p.m. Also, we have to also make sure that we don't forget this week, like we did last week, that we appreciate each and every one of our moderators in the chat. Give VSG Bestie a follow, Miss Mia a follow, and our one and only Regs get smaller, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Back to the
I love the radio voice.
Right.
teaching.
Teaching.
How long
Yay.
have you been teaching, Jay?
This is my 8th year teaching, my 6th year teaching middle school.
I know that's right.
Yeah, man.
Um,
What made you want to be a teacher?
I didn't. I was it's funny, real quick tangent. I went to college because my mom said you have to go to college or get a full-time job. I was 18 and lazy. So I was like, I'm not getting a full-time job. Went to college. I applied to 8 colleges, got into all of them, but I went to Montclair State University because they accepted me first. I wanted to go to Rutgers, but not really enough to wait. I submitted my acceptance on Friday. On that Monday, I got accepted to Rutgers. Call it ADHD, what do you call it? Impulse. Uh, by end of my freshman year, I'm sitting in the lunchroom, and my friends are like, "Hey, we're about to be sophomores. You have to pick a major, right?" And I'm like, "Oh crap! What are you doing?" Sports medicine. I'm like, "All right." I joined the sports medicine athletic training program. Again, maybe it's ADHD, undiagnosed ADHD impulse at that point. It was a tough program, beat the crap out of me, taught me I did not know what I was doing, taught me I did not know how to study, but I think it was very, very huge for who I became. Um, I did that for a little bit, didn't pay very well. It's one of those jobs where you have to work hard for low pay and eventually it might pay later. I started in spoken word poetry, and one of the poets was also one of the poets on my spoken word poetry team. It's like the nerdiest thing ever. You get at a team and then you can compete against other poets. It's so nerdy. But she was like, "Hey, you'd be a great teacher. You should do this program called Teach for America." I was like, "All right." So I applied to the program called Teach for America. Did it. I became a teacher in New York City, and then the school that I came to at that point was the principal was my cousin, and my cousin's like, "Hey, come to this school." I was like, "Okay." So I guess you could say I don't really make decisions, and it just I just say, all right, why not? And I never really thought about that connection with like to ADHD, but it sounds very on brand for me. Like, all right, like if somebody comes outside and says, "Hey, let's go sell cars," I'll probably be like, "All right, why not? Let's do it."
as soon as I step foot on the word succeed, you got me back in your chambers like you got a need mixed with greed, covered with ambush and stampede. I'm pine box your envy. It be time to come to a halt, so stop. Before you step me back, will I ever see the top? It makes your day to see an outcast drop. Step into my room of realm of hip hop, raining on your plot. Don't forget the rope you use for me to choke. Gag enough so that I don't die, but left with a blank side. So I tried to keep my head up. How to defeat this chemical called the depression. I get the impression that it's all in your expression that I know you want to pull your weapon. Don't start sketching. I'm staying out your section. I'm not forgetting the streets are my reflection. Yeah, no. Hey,
It's giving Def Jam poetry. It's giving Def Jam poetry. Okay,
yeah, I'm right there with you, bro.
there you go. Hell yeah.
I love it. I love it. So, changing your lifestyle and your teaching, did it happen?
Say more.
Like when you went through the surgery, did anything in your teaching habits or instruction change as well?
No,
Okay.
but a few months before I said yes to bariatric surgery, again, I was already in therapy. I was not thinking about VSG. I was not thinking about bariatric surgery. Up until the day I said yes, that morning I would have told you there was no way I'm getting bariatric surgery. However, I was on my own journey. Again, even with my therapist, we didn't talk about bariatric surgery. Um, but I was in therapy and I was reading books on habit. I read Atomic Habits, The Power of Habits, Tiny Habits, Good Habits, Bad Habits, and The Now Habit. Again, ADHD, hyperfocus. I read a book on habit and I'm like, this is great. Are there more books on habit? Um, so I actually started implementing habit theory on myself and in my classroom, right? For example, my students were struggling on assessments, multiple choice questions, and I call it getting got. They kept getting got on multiple choice questions, and I was like, all right, what do I know about habit? How can I do this? And then we worked on, breaking down multiple choice questions. And instead of giving them 15 practice questions, literally spend a lot of time on 2 questions and really, getting them used to saying, okay, which question is almost right? What makes it almost right? how could have been worded differently to make it correct. Which one was a throwaway answer? Why was it a throwaway answer? And just doing a lot of work on one multiple choice question to get them used to doing that on assessment day. When they get a test, they get a test in front of them, and the first thing they're thinking is, okay, which one's trying to trick me? Which one's doing this? And then you see those habits on their paper. You see you see them highlighting. You see them taking notes. So like surgery didn't change the way I teach, but the things that I was doing to accidentally get ready for surgery informed how I teach and how I go about the surgery. Again, I don't believe in God. I'm not a religious person. My mom always taught me to respect, regardless if you believe or not. So I'm not the guy that goes, I need proof. I'm just like, hey, if God's there, he'll talk to me one day, but right now I don't know. My wife would say, and you don't believe in God because, again, it just so I just so happened to be reading these books on habit, and those books are going to be like the pivotal, the structure of everything that I'm going to do post gastric sleeve surgery. I just happened to get this new doctor. The first time he talks to me about gastric sleeve surgery, I say yes. After this other doctor has talked to me about it 15 times, and I say no, hell no, no way, no way. So again, things just lined up in that way. But habits, I think, reading books on habits is what got me to where I am today, and helped inform how I teach in my classroom. Yeah.
See, I can't calm myself down enough to read.
Same.
Audiobook, bro.
The audiobook and with the book in your hand, or you someone actually reading you the book?
No, I listen to the audiobook at 1.4x speed, bro.
Oh, so there's a certain speed.
Well, yeah, because when they talk like this, I
You
want
read
to
along with
die.
it.
Okay.
So I put out 1.4, and they kind of sound like at this speed. This is how they read. This is how they read it. And my wife says that it's going too fast, but I'm like, this is great. This is great speed, and I love it.
I
All
didn't know.
I can picture the Matchbox guy on the TV commercial.
I didn't know you could do that. I'd like to try that out for sure. Absolutely.
Maybe that's the way I go. I should go with audiobooks.
Yeah, man. But
So
also,
go ahead.
I'm sorry, but reading and listening to the book is very helpful as well. It's actually a strategy we use for students with IEPs.
That would be me. That would be me for sure. I think that would work best for me.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it'll be very
And
helpful.
it's
Yeah.
so weird that that's, you know, and see, like I self-diagnosed myself with ADHD, and you said that you were actually diagnosed for it, and when you
At
say
30.
at 30, and then you
Mhm.
said that you're able, like, all right, you already know that's what it is, whatever, but you're able to concentrate when you read, and it's like for me, like I don't think I could, like my nose starts running and I might start going to sleep, or I don't know
Yeah.
what it is, man. Unless it's work,
I,
it's at work. I don't have a problem, you know.
I only listen to audiobooks on the treadmill and in the car. So like, honest, the funny. Wow, thank you. I remember. The funny thing is, I only started reading audiobooks because, full transparency, it's dangerous as hell, and I'm so sorry, people. I did this, and I used to do it all the time. I'm sorry. I used to watch TikToks while driving to work. Right? So much. I'm talking about like not looking at the road. Again, maybe it was my dope. My trying to get my dopamine fix. Maybe I was bored. I don't know, but I'm talking about like, and I'm like, yo, I felt like I was in an infomercial. Like, there's got to be a better way, and I'm like, I have to figure out how to stop doing this because it was dangerous. Like at least 2 times where I had a short stop, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna freaking kill myself or kill somebody. This is not okay. So I'm like, okay, what? I clearly need some sort of stimulation. Music is overwhelming. There's so much music choice, and I feel like I'll spend so much time just picking a song. So I was like, let me listen to an audiobook. I said, you know what? Let's kill two birds. I downloaded Atomic Habits, and that's what started it all. I listened to the book Atomic Habits, and then I was fascinated. And I'm like, oh, I can actually listen to an audiobook. Because again, I was the same way. Like I would read, even when I was reading, I would read, and I'm like, I'm reading. I'm doing a good job reading. This is a great job. Wait, what am I doing later? Have no idea what I just read. Right? No idea
Yeah.
what I just read. And that was my whole life. That was my whole life. And then I listened to audiobook, and I'm like, yo, I'm getting this. I had to listen to it 2 or 3 times, but I'm like, yo, I'm getting something out of this. I'm enjoying
Okay.
this. I'm learning.
All right.
And I did it every morning because I was driving to work. I did it on the way to work, on the way back from work, and on the treadmill. And it showed me evidence that I could learn with the audiobook, and it showed me evidence that I could enjoy a book. My wife listens to like fantasies and stories. I can't be like, man, the dragon came. I'm like, I don't know why is there a dragon? What's a dragon? This is a lot. I don't want. But if you tell me something about the fish and how the fish evolved into man, I'm like, this is dope. This is awesome. Like I like that informative stuff. But again, it just showed me proof that I can learn with audiobooks, and I've been invested ever since.
All right, cool.
But again,
So-
it was because this driving while on TikTok catapulted my whole journey. Because again, I started listening to the Atomic Habits, and getting into all of the habit books led me to feel, I guess, confidence that I have some sort of control, and I said yes to the surgery. It just all TikTok saves lives, people, apparently.
Saves lives.
All right, so we got about 15 minutes left, and I don't want to skip this subject because this is what you are completely known for on this platform is your content. I
Yeah.
don't think I can log into TikTok and not see you pop up on my For You page. I don't think I can log into Instagram and not see you pop up on my feed.
I am so sorry.
Can't even keep up with this dude, man. Like seriously.
You
I
are
seen him giving
definitely
himself-
entertaining.
Yeah, he's giving himself a shape up. I'm like, duh. I mean, of course I can do that. Like, what the hell am I doing? And this dude
you
is
don't-
everywhere all the freaking time. And I'm like, shouldn't he be freaking teaching a damn class somewhere? What the hell is he doing? But
Do
I
you
love it.
do any of that content with the kids in the room?
No.
No.
Man.
Do the kids give you any ideas towards your content?
I don't talk about it like that. Like the kid, like I often get
Mhm.
like usually the kids that care are the 5th graders and 6th graders. I teach 8th grade, but the 5th and 6th graders, I saw you on TikTok. That's the guy on TikTok, and I'm like, that's my cousin, and I walk away. And they're like, you're lying. That's you. I could tell by your voice. I'm like, that's not me, and I walk away. My 8th graders couldn't care less.
Right.
They could and I don't. It's not like I'm like, hey guys, you saw my TikTok. I just don't talk about it. They don't talk about it. I have some 8th grader, like one of them will like if he saw my live, let's say he popped in today, he'd be like, Mr. Salazar, hey, how you doing? I love White Castle, and just give me little things to let me know that he was watching.
Yeah.
Right.
To let me know he was watching. But other than that, the kids don't care. I had one kid last year, like she was like, you're not like a TikTok teacher. I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, you don't got lights, you can't dance. She's like, you're like regular, and that's okay. You can be regular. I'm like, all right. And I couldn't fail her because she was brilliant, but still, the kids don't care. I have some videos with the kids like from years back because I've been on TikTok since 2020, right before the pandemic I got on. But I'm really happy that I chose to not really be around the kids because if you're making videos with kids, then you're gonna end up making choices, whether subconsciously or consciously, and that's gonna choices what you're gonna do in the classroom, and that may impact what the materials and what you're creating for the kids. And I don't want to do that.
Okay.
Hey, have you ever met an 8th grader or had an 8th grader who is smarter than you?
Yeah, all the time. Yeah, all the time.
Seriously?
I have like 5 in the class right now. Like they could like at least 3 of them could go to grad school online for me.
That is so wild, man. Where do you think
we have the experience, we have the years, and they're still 13, so they're still gonna say some dumb things, do dumb things, and doesn't mean they're dumb. They're just 13. So yeah, we just have the years and the experience.
do you think it comes from like early reading or it's just genetic? What do you think about that?
No, I think reading, like usually the kids who are smarter, not smarter than me, just the kids who are just really really bright. Usually they're really good writers and they're really good readers, and not only are they good at reading, they want to read and they often read. Some like one kid was so brilliant last year. I couldn't like read her essay and give her feedback. It wasn't like that was not what I was doing with her. For her, it was more about like presentations and teaching her how to speak out publicly because her writing was brilliant and her stage presence was she's a kid that gets nervous, so we worked on that, and it was the cutest thing. Even though I got sick and I couldn't get to the graduation, but I was able to tune in. Had COVID, but I was able to tune in on not live but on Zoom. And she was like, and she was delivering the speech, right? She was delivering the speech, and she was saying, and she said, "Thank you, Mr. Salazar, for helping me with my stage presence, whatever." I'm like, "Oh." And I was just happy I was able to do anything with that child because again, she was freaking brilliant. She could have gone to college next year, type thing.
That's
So
awesome.
I know that's crazy. So with your content, you seem to do a little bit of everything. So you touch a little bit, you do a little bit of comedy with the whole. You play with your ADHD and stuff with your kids and
Yep.
stuff. You play that little part. You do some bariatric content. You do a little bit of political content. You seem to have a wide array of stuff, and I think that's just being years being on
Yeah.
on the platform. Um, how do you go about with your content? Like, how do you create? Like, what's your secret to all of us?
My secret is go for it, bro. Like make the video. You know, very rarely you're gonna have a person who makes who makes content. First of all, I love this. I could talk about this all day. I love talking about making content. I offer conversations and my phone number, and we have and to people. I'm like, hey, send me your video. Let's talk about it. Like I tell my friends, hey, let's grab dinner and let's just talk about the videos you want to make. It brings me joy. Like if I stop making content tomorrow, as long as I can talk to other people about how to make their videos or make their content better, then I'd be fine. But I say go for it, right? Very rarely you'll find somebody who gets on TikTok, makes videos, and starts popping off really early on. It's not the norm, right? Especially if you're not like a conventionally attractive. Let's be honest, conventionally attractive white woman with a white blonde woman, right? Um, so make the video, right, and you'll find your secret sauce, you'll find your niche, you'll find what works for you, right? Like take poetry for example. I used to write about what I was going through, a lot about my father, about a lot about my father being an alcoholic, a lot about eating disorders. I used to write poetry about that, and one of my friends says, hey, you're funny as hell. I'm like, yeah. She's like, how come I don't see that in your poetry? And I was like, and then I started writing, introducing humor in my poetry, and that's when I got good. Right, that's when people were like, "Wow, your poems are great," because I still wanted to talk about my story, but I incorporated humor in it. So when I got on TikTok, I'm like, same idea. I'm like, I like making people laugh. So no matter
Mhm.
what I do, I'm gonna try to bring that into it, and that's gonna invite people into conversation. It's not gonna always be laughter, but that's what I'm gonna do. So I say go for it. Record a video, post a video. It's gonna suck in the beginning, and if it doesn't, great. That's awesome. Good for you. But
Mm.
I've posted more. I've posted more videos that are terrible than are hits. Right. The majority of out of I've posted over 2,500 videos, probably over 3,000 videos. That's not an exaggeration. That's a true fact. I've deleted more videos than people have posted. Right. I swing. There's one summer, I think 2020, summer of 2020, I posted 10 videos a day. It wasn't my mission. I wasn't saying I'm gonna post 10 a day. I just happened to post like 9, then 13, and then 8. I just did it, right? And with that, I had so many at bats. Think about how many at bats, how many practice swings, how many times I made a video and looked for my voice, right? Versus somebody who wants to post once a week, twice a week. I had more chances of seeing what works for me in 1 week than some people have in a month, right? And that isn't to say post just to post. I'm just saying if you feel a video, if you feel concept, post that video, right? And then you'll find out what works for you, right? Go for it. Just go for it. Nobody's gonna judge you and your content more than you. And I promise you, nobody's looking at your page more than you, right? We always think about, but if I repost this video, nobody cares. They don't care. If you look at my most watched video, probably like 15 million views, out of everybody who saw that video, like 10% saw the whole thing. Nobody cares. They don't care, and it sucks. It sucks to believe that. But once you get over that, oh my God, I'm gonna be goofy on it. Yes, be goofy on the internet. Take risks, take chances, do something different. Swing, miss, swing and miss, and that's gonna help you figure out what works for you. Same thing with surgery, right? Try things, and then you figure out what works for you. Don't be like, oh, this person's eating this person's doing that, this person's doing that. Be you, right, Janae? Be you.
Be you.
Yeah, man. Nobody can be you. Nobody knows your story better than you.
Hey, you posted a video. I think maybe today, or I don't know, man. You post shit all the damn time. Can't keep up with your ass. But
I'm sorry.
no, it's cool. I love it. You posted a video about, and I'm talking about the ADHD, where someone said, "Oh, excuse me, I forgot my coffee," and you're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Oh,
like,
you left it in the car.
yeah. I was like, you know what? It's so funny because I just got done watching that video, and where I was staying in that cabin, it's 2.5 hours away from where I am now.
Mm.
Last minute, I had to drive from there to come here because the Wi-Fi was horrible, and I couldn't have made this live. So traveled the 2.5 hours back to New York.
Jesus.
I forgot my headphones. I forgot, my speaker. I just forgot shit, man. And you're thinking about this stuff going out the door. You gotta have it, and it just doesn't make the trip, man. And
Yeah.
it's so funny.
Yeah. That's why, like, when people that say I'm so ADHD and they think it's like this quirk, I'm like, bro, no, it impacts my entire life. It impacts my
Yeah.
morning every day. It impacts the videos I want to make. It impacts the lessons I have to create. It impacts how I address the students and my frustration. How frustrated I am throughout the day based on how the ADHD impacted me. That is gonna impact how I can handle the stressors of being a teacher, right? And then I get home, and then I have to be a good dog father, and then be a good husband, and then I have to be good enough to be able to prepare myself for the next day. It's constant struggle. And yeah, I think ADHD can be a superpower. I really do think ADHD is a reason why I found success on TikTok. ADHD and me trying to find coping habits is the reason why I think I am finding success in bariatric surgery. However, it's still, sometimes it's frustrating, and sometimes it's debilitating, and sometimes it's just like I need tomorrow to happen because I can't keep going today. It's a lot, and just saying, oh my god, I forget things. Cool, but there's so much. ADHD comes with so much, and how it impacts the people on a daily basis. It's more than just a joke. But I like to laugh, so that's why I also make those videos.
Um. Well, we're winding down, and I know
Yeah, man.
Tony. I can see Tony over there itching his butt in his seat. Um. But I gotta tell you, thanks for taking the time to hang out with us, Jay.
Yes,
No
definitely.
problem, man. This
Thank
is great.
you. We've been looking forward to this one for a long time,
I'm sorry
so
if I
we
talk too
really
much.
appreciate you taking the time.
Nah, it
No,
was
this is
cool.
perfect.
I want to use you some more talking too. Chef KC, what's happening, man? I want to give you a shout out, man. I've been seeing you in the community, man. Much love to you and what you're doing and what you represent while we're at it, real
Yes,
quick.
I cannot wait for the videos to come out with the cooking stuff.
Yeah. Hey,
Oh, we out.
so what is up? Like, closing out. Any advice for anybody who has had gotten surgery or is thinking about surgery? Anything about the content? Anything about ADHD? Anything you want to throw out there, man? Let it rip.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the same thing I say on my live. I'm all about trying to be as consistent as possible. Um, like, be weary of folks on TikTok or any social media, right? Remember that no matter, like, I could tell you I'm telling you the truth at all times, but this could be a facade, right?
Yep.
Actually, it is a kind of facade because I'm exhausted. I'm so tired. I was literally sitting in the kitchen like this, right? But with ADHD, I've learned to kind of turn it on and turn it off. I'm also a teacher, so I have to be able to. No, but the kids don't care if you're tired. The kids don't take care if you had a bad morning. You have to be here, or they're not going to be with you. So, put that into the forefront of your brain when you're watching a video, because people want your like, they want your comment, they want your follow, they want your share, they want your money. And they're gonna want to be the one you go to, and they're gonna say, this is how you do this, this is how you break a stall, this is the best way, this is the best multivitamin, this is the best, and just be wary of that. And remember that although people have the right to get their coins, there are going to be people who are afraid to tell you that I don't know. They're going to be people afraid to tell you that I'm not sure. They're going to be people afraid to tell you it depends. Because who wants to follow I don't know? Who wants to follow it depends? Who wants to follow I'm not sure? Who wants to follow yes and no? Who wants to follow a little? It works for this person, but this person it might not work for. You don't want to follow that person. You want to follow the person who has the answers. You want to follow the person who's brilliant. You want to follow the person anytime you have a question, you're going to their page. You don't want to follow the person who is going to tell you that maybe I'm not the right person to answer that question, right? And just be weary and question everything. Question me. Question what I'm saying right now. I could just be spewing bullshit, and that I'm sorry for cursing. And that has to you have to think about that while you consume content, especially when it comes to content about your health.
Yeah. Well said. I like that. So it is 8:59. Rav and I want to thank you very much for joining us. It was a pleasure having you on, and we actually look forward to seeing you in New Jersey.
Woo!
We are definitely gonna chat. We'll talk a lot, some content, some bariatric stuff.
Whatever, man. I blocked out my calendar, so I'm not late to another event. I'm like, this is what I'm doing on Saturday. That's it. This is the thing.
Nice.
I know there's a lot of stuff going on in the comments. I don't want to rush out on this one. I'm not in a real big rush. I want to close it out nice and smooth. Again, Jay, thanks for joining us, man, taking the time. I know you're tired as hell. I want to make sure that everybody had the opportunity to watch the SG Bestie on Talk Barry to Me Sunday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, 5 p.m. Pacific on Sundays. Also, our Barry Sisters on what day, Jay?
Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
And then we got Barry Unfiltered on Mondays at what time, Tony?
8 p.m. Sorry.
He's quick.
Hey, I can't remember all those times, man, but
I don't even know why or how I remember. I just do.
yeah. So thanks you all for 56,000 likes. We
Holy
appreciate it.
cow.
Tony and I are going to go live to chatting up, bring y'all in on a conversation of how we deal with our conversations of what we pick up from the live. So we're going to be talking about Jay behind his back live.
Yay.
And AJ, we love you, brother.
Yeah.
Love you guys.
Awesome,
This was really awesome. I appreciate it.
Thanks to
Oh,
all.
we appreciate you, man.
Thanks for all the follows. Peace.
Yeah.
Love.
Have a good night, guys.
And so train.